Welcome back to Timechasers Trackmania Challenger Series. Soon we'll be starting off with the second match, Bonkers versus Name Not Found. Before we're starting out, we'll have a small introduction to the teams that we'll be seeing in the next few moments. Team Bonkers is gonna consist of SimplyNick from Australia, the land down under. His teammates are Tekky and Christian. You'll see a pretty diverse player field from this team. And their opponent's gonna be Name Not Found. It will consist of Binks, Link, and Mudda, since Link and Mudda will be playing the Trackmania Grand League Combine today. They'll be not participating in this weekend's matches, but it'll be a bit. Let's say Binks will be the solo player for the entire team, and will try to do his best performance against the team. Actually, Binks did play yesterday's qualifier himself on all of the 5 styles, and as we can see against the results, he did a pretty good job. His biggest mistake was on full speed. That was his weakest map out of all of the 5, and the rest of them were like insane, like one-man army, let's just say it like that. And being top 5 on 4 out of the 5 map styles is a really good result. So we will see that Name Not Found will be the theoretical, on paper, the best players on this matchup, but Bonkers still gonna do a very good job, seeing that Mini RPG and Adio is also top 10 like time attack, qualifier time potential, setting a very good pace on those. That full speed wasn't the best performance from Team Bonkers in the qualifier, but I have seen that the players are much more can do a lot better job than 35th place on the full speed map, but we'll see. Pace wise, of course, Name Not Found is in a bit a pretty big advantage, but Bonkers, I think, especially with SimplyNick showing that on his Twitch rivals performance, showing that he can challenge even the top players of the game. We can see that it can go anyway. Soon we'll be starting on the match in just a few seconds. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we'll be starting out our first match in this, let's say, a bit more international lineup wise, when we have 2 teams with having more than just European centric players. SimplyNick being in the lineup for Team Bonkers, even though Mudda is also on the lineup as well for the Name Not Found, but like I said, due to the Trackmania Grand League Combine, we'll see that Mudda and Link will not be participating this weekend, but it will be Binks trying to solo carry the team against Team Bonkers. We will have the same map order as every single time. It will be tech map first, dirt, full speed, and if it's gonna be necessary, then it's gonna be mini RPG and Nadio. Looks like Tekky will be playing against Binks in the 1v1 on the tech map. Tekky actually did set a pretty decent result in the qualifier for Team Bonkers, I believe setting a 0.3 time on the tech map, putting them in a top 20 position on the tech, but Binks having a very solid performance on the qualifier. He did manage to set a better result and thus making it the name not found, solo carrying the team in the top 5 position on the tech. The last warm-up, we're starting off the very first match, and then they'll be start in the game. Last few seconds of the warm-up and we'll be starting off the tech map in the second match. Actually, I think during this match we'll actually have one more match having parallel to this one. And we have added the exclamation mark bracket command where you can see the full results of the groups, of what teams are each group and the results that are being added in real time. Anyway, first round, Binks against Tekky on the 1v1 on the tech map. Binks having a bit better line set, but Tekky still challenging the French player in this 1v1 situation. Being very close, just 0.5 difference. Tekky still challenging Binks, even though Binks is just pushing like crazy in this upper hand. Binks having a bit better line, keeping a lot more exit speed during some of these turns, keeping 0.13 advantage. During already even 0.3, having this trying to handle the risky lands and setting a 0.1 time in the round. And that's giving this very first round points on the tech map. For team name not found. Second round we will have, can Tekky challenge Binks in the 1v1? Having already a small minor lead in the first few turns. But after coming the very far last, Binks shows his true potential of having this insane qualification performance and already being 1.12 ahead of Tekky. Tekky is playing good as well, but Binks is just a bit too strong on this one. The 0.34 already advantage for Binks, and he's just absolutely clapping his cheeks. Even though Tekky did count up a bit, but Binks' consistency is insane, driving 0.12 rounds in a row. Can he maintain this performance? Looks like Tekky can wait till, or try to play on Binks' mistakes and try to get at least some points from that. Again, a bit better start from Tekky. Tekky a bit pushes the start a bit more than Binks, but Binks still maintains his performance during the rest of the map, having already being in the lead. Oh no, Tekky pushes a bit more and bonks the wall. Meanwhile, Binks is just being very solid on this map. Going for another sick time here. Meanwhile, Tekky sadly is a bit losing his points, and this will be a point for team name not found. 37.99, being the very first sub 38 time is just insane. There were only 10 players who were able to drive under sub 38, and Binks is one of them, trying to maintain that. And I think driving these 37s in rounds in the very first match already is pretty, let's just say, it doesn't give a bit of confidence for players. Even though Tekky is challenging only being 0.3, and even getting a bit more exit speed than in this turn. Can he actually Tekky yoink some points in this Binks? But Binks goes for a bit inside that and he pushes. Tekky risks it, And it's gonna be close round, and Binks makes a mistake. Tekky drives his first 37 as well, shows that okay, I can do this as well, and gets his first point in this match. Now it's a race. Tekky has I have never seen Tekky driving this fast. This is his PB 100% sure, and that means we're on to a very sports match. Binks probably thought this is gonna be an easy game. No, it's not. Tekky is challenging himself, driving and equaling his time in the last round, and now pushing it in this round as well, being very close. Binks, even though just being 0.7 ahead, still can manage. If Tekky pulls out that 6:37, then he can maintain his position and try to clutch out on this tech map as well. But he saved it a bit too much, and unless Binks did save it and pulls a map. How are they so consistent with 37.99? But again, it's like 3 rounds in a row. Winning time is 37.99. It's insane. But this will be another point for Team Nenad found, and they're already on their map point. Binks just needs to secure 1 round in his favor, and they win the tech map. Binks being ahead already by 0.13 on the after the first few turns. Tekky still a bit trying to push it. Oh no, he pushed it. He went for the very risky line, but sadly colliding with the wall, and now Binks is in our upper lead now. Tekky is 1.5 seconds behind Binks, and this is a pretty secure round for Binks as well as the tech map, unless he manages to screw up as we have seen in the last match beforehand. And now this is a free stop and a very nice time by Binks there, 37.85. Really solid performance there on the tech map. And this is the first map win for Team Name Not Found. Coming up on the dirt map, Binks, being a very insane all-rounder player in the qualification, also managed to maintain his getting top 5 positions in the qualifier time attack phase. And sadly for Team Bonkers, it was not the best performance on the dirt map. It was Christian, I believe it was playing, and it will be Christian as well, trying to hold the flag for Team Bonkers on the dirt map, trying to as was seeing how he was practicing. He was looking in way better shape than in the qualifier, and I think he can still yoink some points from Binks here if he plays a very good consistency game, and then he can potentially get maybe even a map win. But Binks is looking very strong this weekend. And like I said, sadly, even though on the Team Name Not Found lineup they have Mudda and Link as well, but since Mudda and Link are preparing for the Trackmania Grand League combat, and it is starting off this evening as well, Binks will be opting in solo and trying to help his team during the very first few playdays. Both of the players are not looking too good in the warm-up, but as they say, trying to have rather have a bad warm-up and good rounds than a good warm-up and bad rounds. Alright, and we're starting off the dirt map. It's gonna be Binks versus Christian. After the first few turns, we already see that Binks is in a pretty big lead already, having 0.2 advantage already, having taken the first few turns a bit more tight. Christian a bit trying to take a bit more safer approach, trying to work on the consistency game than risking like crazy. Binks having a 0.3 lead, 0.5 now even, and Binks' performance as a all-rounder is just showing off like massively. This gap is really big, 0.39. Christian is saving a bit too much, I think, and sadly that won't be enough. And Binks showing a 0.4. That's a very, very good time there by Binks. And I think that might be not looking too good for Team Bonkers, considering that he basically drove his opponent's PB in the first round already. But if Binks makes one mistake, that can be capitalized by Team Bonkers, and they can. But even though Christian is looking very, very shaky and not showing the best performance in this round, being already 0.8, like being gone, you can't even see his score at some points, it's just gone. And this looks like it's gonna be secure position for Binks as well, trying to hold the flag for name not found, and showing a very good time as well. 0.399 by Binks. Really good job there. Those are some insane numbers right there. Already 2-0 on the dirt map. Can Christian at least get some points in his bag? Can he do it? But at least Christian is looking a bit better than he was in the qualifier yesterday. Already beating his qualifier time yesterday. Binks already in a 0.7 lead. He just nails the very hard lines like every single round. It's insane. Christian trying to battle his way. He saves a bit too much, trying to wait for still Binks makes some mistake and trying to capitalize on that. But Binks is just tanking through these maps, and another 0.4. This regu is mind-boggling. 0.3, 0.4 regu on the dirt map. Wow. Insane performance by Binks there. But can he break? And Christian is all the time playing very, very safe, trying to wait for the moment when Binks does collide with the wall. But looks like Binks is playing safe well, and no, Christian meanwhile does bonk it. And this looks like it's gonna be another free round for Binks, unless he makes the mistake, and maybe Christian can still capitalize it if it does happen. And Binks is already 1.5 lead, but everything can still happen. He can lose a gear, he can collide the wall, he can miss the finish. His game can crash, anything can happen. Healers can raid the stream, anything can happen. But no, 0.2! Wow, he's just impressing me every single round, even more and more. And it's already, we're coming down to the map points. Insane performance by Binks on this map. He's driving really good times. Like I said at the start of the stream, that everything that is under 38.5 is a good time, and Binks is doing that every single round. It's mind-boggling. Already Binks having a 0.8 lead already, even more than a second over Christian. Christian probably having one of his first competition experiences, and I'm being paired up with one of the better and most experienced now even competition or solo competition players. Already it's quite a bit of experience, let's just say it like that. And Binks driving another 0.2. Wow. Team name not found, and Binks especially looking very, very strong on this one, and they will take the dirt map in this match. Alright, we're coming up against on the full speed map. It's by Blade Runner. This was actually the Binks' worst map. He placed only 17th in the qualifier. His personal best was not one of the better faster sides, so this might be the place where Team Bonkers can potentially make an upset. If Bonkers manages to win this map, we will be moving on to the mini RPG, where Tekky will be probably stepping in. It looks like Christian actually can challenge Binks on this map. But will he be able to do it in actual rounds? We'll see. Actually, from what I have checked, actually, Christian has a bit the same around the TPB as Binks, so we can potentially see actually a bit closer matches now. Christian is looking a bit shaky, so his consistency is not up there. Even though I think his pace might be here. And thankfully Christian is getting Nadio in the warm-up. And not in the actual round. So that's good at least. But I think we can potentially see that Christian might be actually getting the map in here. But anything can still happen. And we'll be starting soon with the full speed map. Can Binks clean sweep Team Bonkers? Coming up on the first round, Binks having a bit better start and also outscored a lot more tighter line, thus giving him a better, shorter traveling distance, a bit more exit speed as well. Even though Christian has a bit more speed. But can Christian beat Binks in this matchup? And Binks! Where did Binks go? He teleported to a different planet. No, he did teleport to the last checkpoint, thus giving a potential 3 rounds for Christian, thus starting off this map in favor of Team Bonkers. Christian opting out for the safe finish, trying to not risk it for the risky one. And we're starting off Christian Team Bonkers being in the lead over Team Name Not Found. Christian going a bit wide on the start of the map. But they're pretty even coming after the second CP. Like I said, the full speed is the weakest map style of Binks. Oh, and he almost something bad happened there, but Christian is still happening. Actually has a better speed slide. Can he maintain? He carries way more speed than Binks. Binks trying to opt under the safe line, but looks like Christian has a bit more exit speed and who can risk it. Binks goes for the inside line, he risks a bit more. Where does the Christian go? And Christian takes the round with 0.6 over Binks, having 2-0 for Team Bonkers. This might bring some confidence for Team Bonkers, and Christian being ahead of one of the very experienced players, and as well being the player who absolutely was looking very dominant on the tech and dirt maps. Christian getting a bit unlucky our time there, but and thus Binks getting a bit more speed for this section. But we have seen that Christian can manage pretty decent speed slides and a lot better ones than Binks. Binks actually doesn't go for the speed slide, he just goes for the regular driving way. And Christian doing the speed slides actually does benefit him quite well. And that's give him a catch-up speed. Can he do it? Christian goes for the risk. Where's Binks? Binks is risking it. And what's Christian as well? And Christian does take another map win over Binks. It's already 3-0 for Team Bonkers on the full speed map. Christian potentially pulling off the upset for Binks on the full speed map. Now let's see, can Binks, if Binks wins this map, it will be GG for Team Name Not Found. And it's gonna be 3-0 win, but it looks like Christian is gonna say no for that. Oh no, he gets an unlucky bump, but he still maintains a bit more speed than it was intended from the potential loss. Binks looking very shaky on some of the sections. Still doesn't go for the speed slide, just goes for the regular, trying to keep lines tight. Well, Christian going for the SDs, but will it be enough? Yes, it will be. He gets a lot more exit speed than this from the quarter pipe, whereas Binks is very close. Can he take to the title line? It's going to be really close, and it's going to be only 3,000 difference, and it's going to be going for the Christian with both players setting a .69 on this map. Map point for Christian, potentially pulling off an upset against Binks on the full speed map. It didn't look too good on the dirt and tech mons, but it looks like very good and a potential comeback for Team Bonkers against Team Name Not Found. Oh no, Christian, what are you doing? Christian completely stumbles and gives a free round for Binks, and throwing off his potential 5-0 chance on the full speed map. Binks is actually starting now to start to experiment with the speed slides a bit, and it looks like it's gonna be a free round for Team Name Not Found and Binks. Let's see if that mistake does a bit mentally play a bit small game. From what I have seen, that when Christian crashes, he starts crashing a lot in like a chain reaction. But hopefully that won't happen here, since Christian just needs one round ahead of Binks, and he will secure the map win on the full speed. Christian is looking a bit more shaky than in the last few rounds, having a bit of that pressure. But going for the spoolsy lines, speed slides does give him a bit more extra speed, and Binks stumbles. Unless Christian can maintain he just needs to finish now. And that should be a free map win for... Oh no, it looks very shaky. What's happening? And no, Christian still managed to finish, and that will be a map point for Team Bonkers. Christian managing to pulling off the opposite on the full speed map. And now we're going on into the mini RPG. This is gonna be the place where it's gonna start getting interesting, because RPG and Nadio are the strongest maps from the Team Bonkers, placing 6th and 9th in the qualifier, kind of being their carry maps in the qualifier, let's just say it like that. Binks performing 7th, placing 4th on both of the maps on the RPG and Nadio. So this is gonna be super close, and having that bit of, let's just say, advantage from the full speed map might give some confidence for Team Bonkers that they can still carry, because we're coming in on the two stronger maps for Team Bonkers, RPG and Nadio, where Tekky and SimplyNick did manage a very good performance in the qualifier. But Binks as well setting top 5 times on both of the maps. And wow. Can potentially Team Bonkers make a reverse sweep in this match against Name Not Found and Binks? Because at the moment that is potentially doable. Tekky being a very good RPG cut-like player on the Dio cuts as well, having a bit more coming from that kind of field. Binks being an overall very good all-rounder, playing a lot of French competitions, even on zero tier style maps where potentially the RPG skills or some skill sets come from there. We'll see potential. If Binks wins this map, this is GG for Team Name Not Found. If Tekky wins this map, they're going into the tiebreaker on the Nadio. Just the last few seconds in, and we'll be starting off the mini RPG 1v1. It's gonna be Tekky against Binks. Reminder, if Binks wins this, it's gonna be GG in this match for Team Name Not Found. If Tekky, then we're going on to the tiebreaker on the Nadio. Very even starting off in this round. Tekky having a bit more unlucky bounce, but Binks managing to maintain a bit more exit speed, and Tekky, oh no, having a bit unlucky transition there, losing quite a bit already. 1 second away. Even though this map is very punishing, one mistake it costs you more than 3 seconds or even more, so just managing to have a good consistent round on this map is very important. Looks like Tekky is looking very, very shaky on this map, and this looks like it's gonna be a free round for Binks. Binks starting off with the entry point on this map will give him a bit more confidence against Tekky. Tekky potentially can challenge Binks on this one. I have seen that Tekky can set a lot faster times than that, than just Binks what set, so it can potentially be a small confidence boost knowing that the other player doesn't drive that good of a pace, but anything can still happen. Mistake is a mistake and that can lose a round potentially. Binks having a small advantage here on this after the first half of the map. Having only 0.5, unlucky clip or oh no, Tekky hits the slow motion block and that will lose him around 1 second. Also having a very shaky landings, looks like it's not gonna be Tekky's day today. Oh no, Binks clips it and this can be potentially, yes, this will be give a chance for Tekky to overtake Binks and that will be a point for Team Bonkers. Now we're 1-1. Tekky uses the opportunity of Binks having a small mistake and he capitalizes and gets a point for his team. Oh no, Binks! Binks pulls a Bonks and gets a small mistake at the very start and that gives a relatively a free round for Tekky unless he can maintain it till the very end. Giving around 2 to 3 seconds lead. Yeah, 2.8 seconds handicap over Tekky. Tekky just needs to keep it safe and just finish it. It looks like Binks is a bit pushing a bit, already reducing the lead. Tekky manages to safely go on the balance part and does take the round win. Everything that is sub 42 is a really fast time, and we can see that almost every round the winning time is sub 42. That's really sick. Especially pulling off sub 42s in a round is really challenging, especially in these pressured situations when you know that you're up against a also very strong opponent. Tekky having a bit better start than Binks in this round, just having a 0.3 gap in the middle. Tekky having a very shaky part in that section. Binks hopping off for a bit outside line, trying to get a bit more speed. Tekky going for the outside line for the candle more speed. Binks pushes it and clips in the middle, and that will be another free round for Team Bonkers and Tekky. 41.2. That is a sick time. I think that's yeah. That 0.2 is a really fast time, especially in round set. I think that is not the fastest time we have seen today, because as we saw, I believe a 0.1 in the previous match. World record is 40.7, I believe, by Hazard. Okay, 40.62. Yeah. Anyway, this round is being very close, right? Being Binks in the small advantage. Actually, Tekky having an interesting outside line, but it loses it by quite a bit. It's gonna be very close. Tekky pushes it, and oh no, Binks a bit clips the balance part, and that will be another free round for Tekky. Tekky driving another low 41 in a round. That's an insane performance, and we're going on to the already map point for Team Bonkers. If Tekky manages to be ahead of Binks in this round, we're going to the tiebreaker. Very close round. Both players being basically equal. Tekky a bit clipping a bit unlucky, gives Binks a bit of small advantage in this round. Oh, Tekky barely making the jump, but he risks for the title line, and he gets it. Binks as well, but he took a bit outside line trying to save it a bit, and that will be a very good round, and that's gonna be a GG for Team Bonkers on the RPG map. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into the tiebreaker. First tiebreaker of the group stages. It's gonna be on the Nadio map. Binks has now quite a bit of pressure now. Had a very sick performance on Tech and Dirt, very dominantly as well. Started a bit making first few mistakes a bit. Losing the pace against Team Bonkers on the full speed map and mini RPG. But like I said, the last two maps are a bit more favorable for are the best two maps for the Team Bonkers, placing 6th and 7th in the qualifier. Binks placed 4th and 4th in the mini RPG and the Dio. But we did see that Tekky did manage to bring a lot better performance in the actual rounds than in the qualifier. And as people in the chat mentioned, yes, Binks does hold the 4th fastest time on Fall 15. That will be the Nadio map played in the group stages. SimplyNick holding top 50 time world, which is, even though the gap is pretty big considering PBs, but let's see who will be the most consistent. We'll have one more warm up and they'll be starting off the tiebreak. Anyway, entering before starting off the match on the Nadio map. This map is very, very punishing. You have to push it every single turn to maintain as much speed as you can. And if you save it a bit, it can lose up to even 0.5, just a bit saving one turn. So if players really want to win each round, they will need to push it to the limit. And we will see if that will be the case in the actual rounds. Starting off in the very first round. On the tiebreaker, Team Bonkers versus Name Not Found. 2-2, tiebreaker time, let's go. SimplyNick versus Binks. Binks taking the very inside line, being the top 5 time world on this map. SimplyNick being top 50. Binks having a bit more advantage from the tighter drift and making a bit more inside line. SimplyNick a bit saving the tighter turn, Binks is just pushing it like crazy and having a great consistency as well, taking all of the jumps properly and very smoothly. Trying to go for the bit outside line with the unexpected line, I would say, from there. And this looks like it's gonna be a point for Binks unless he bonks the CP, but no, and he does a pretty decent rounds time, 42.49. That's a pretty solid time, and I believe that's a top 50 roll time as well on the fall campaign. Round 2, Binks entering the match, opening with the opening points. I have seen that SimplyNick can potentially challenge Binks on this map. Binks carrying a bit more exit speed there. Oh, SimplyNick releasing there, trying to save it to avoid from the crash. Binks pushing it from the inside line a bit. SimplyNick trying to do it. Oh no, he touches the wall. Binks, meanwhile, trying to maintain his speed, seeing that the big time difference. I know that there's a shot caller for Binks, trying to give a message him that the other player has tried, trying to save it as well in the last few turns. And that will be a point for Name Not Found. 42.019. That is like top 20 roll time. On the fall 15, that's a pretty decent time, especially for rounds. Anyway, coming out on the round 3, Binks oh no, Binks making pulling a bonks and hugging the wall after very first time, giving SimplyNick a pretty free round if he can just nice and easily just finish the round. Yeah, Binks is just full on and gave up on this round. Having the big responsibility of since Binks' teammates Mudda and Link are not participating this weekend due to Trackmania Grand League Combine coming up in this evening, Binks will have to trying to do his best and replace them in the first few group stages as well as qualifier. And in qualifier, he did set a very good time, setting top 5 times on 4 styles of the 5 maps in the qualifier, qualifying their team in the group stages. Anyway, the last round did give The Binks crash did give a free point for SimplyNick, but after this point we see that Binks is back and challenging already. A very good opening of the map. Oh no, SimplyNick gets airtime and crashes. This was also now this is a free round for Binks if he can just save it a bit. And SimplyNick is now trying to hopefully wait for, unless Binks, I don't know, hits a finish or something, trying to potentially get this or comeback. But it looks like this is Binks we're talking about, and this is a save point for Binks. Binks showing an insane regular pace on some of the maps, on the Tech map, Dirt map, and the Dio map as well, doing low 42s, which is like top 20, top 30 world time. And being challenged that by, well, he's basically beating SimplyNick's PB every single round if he doesn't crash, so. SimplyNick having a very shaky very first few turns, already losing quite a bit. Like I said, if you save one turn in this map, you lose like 0.4, 0.5, since it's very important about maintaining speed through the turns. And that already gives a massive time gap, like 1.5 seconds already in this turn. SimplyNick doing a pretty decent job at the last few parts, but the Binks is already enough ahead. And even though he did get a bit of airtime, but he managed to save it and got very, very close on a full-on heating in that one part, but it'll be another free point for Binks. Binks and Name Not Found already on the match point. He just needs to win one round, and that will be a GG for Team Name Not Found. But can SimplyNick challenge them? If he can pull off a very good consistent pace, then he can potentially deny and reverse sweep the tiebreaker on this match. Binks having a very good exit speed after the first few turns. With only 0.15 difference, anything can still happen, unlucky bump or anything can still throw this match around. Binks being ahead a bit, like 0.2. Oh no, gets an unlucky bump as well, Binks as well, but not too much. SimplyNick having a bit more bump, a bit of unluckier landing in the after the turns, and that will give a free match point unless Binks bonks. Then it's gonna be other way, but it looks like it's gonna be pretty safe, and it's gonna be a GG for Team Name Not Found. A very nice performance by SimplyNick. Well, could have been better from him, but it's pretty hard to compete with a player who's top 5 on this map. But he still did a pretty good job and capitalized on his mistakes when it was needed. And this will be a GG and 3-2 for Team Name Not Found. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be soon coming up on the next few match. We'll be having No Clue against Ascended Soldiers in around 20 minutes. So, stay tuned.